Hey everybody, welcome to another lesson of learning Japanese. Today we're going to cover how to say to finish doing a verb. In our previous video we covered how to say to start doing a verb, and the technicalities in these two grammar constructs are very similar. So if I forget to mention something in this video, it might have been just because there was already a proper exposition in the previous video. So if you need to reference that, do so. You're welcome to do so, and it definitely is a good thing to do, because if you're going to learn how to say to finish doing something, you should probably know how to say to start doing something too. So without further ado, let's get into this. The Japanese that we're going to use for this grammar construct is the pre-mas form of a verb plus the other verb owaru, which means to end, to finish, something along those lines. And here owaru is going to be an intransitive verb, but since it's being combined with the other verb, the pre-mas form of whatever verb we're choosing, both of those verbs combine together to make a really cool resulting compound verb. And the compound verb, whether it's transitive or intransitive, it has nothing to do with owaru itself being an intransitive verb. All it cares about is the other verb that we pick, because that verb is what we consider the first verb in this compound. If you look at the grammar construct itself, we have pre-mas form of verb plus owaru. Just because that pre-mas form verb appears before owaru, it's considered the first verb, and it's going to affect the transitiveness or intransitiveness of the compound verb completely. So if we use a transitive verb with owaru, then the compound verb is going to be transitive too. And if we use an intransitive verb with owaru, then the compound verb is going to be intransitive. Though it may be worth noting that in this particular grammar construct, to finish doing a certain verb, it's usually transitive verbs that are used. With all that said and done, let's just jump into some examples now to do whatever we do best. For our first example sentence, we have the line Shukudai o shiowatta ato de yuushoku o chouri shimashita. And what this line translates to is, after I finished doing my homework, I made dinner. This is somewhat of a tricky sentence. It uses some grammar constructs that we've covered in the past. Break down the line bit by bit to get a better idea of this sentence. First up, we have Shukudai, which is probably the easiest part of the sentence because we've used the word so many times. Shukudai means homework. We have o marking Shukudai as a direct object of the verb suru. Suru here is going to be in its pre-mas form because that's what the grammar construct needs. So suru turns into shi, and then we modify that with owaru. But owaru here in itself is going to be in the past plain form, which is owatta. So owaru turns into owatta. Shiowatta means finish doing. Finish doing what? Well, we finished doing the homework because we have shukudai o right before those verbs, that compound verb. And since owatta is the plain past form of owaru, we can use the grammar construct ato de to mean after. So we have ato de right after owatta, and what that translates to is after I finished doing the homework. Now we move on to the second part of the sentence, yuushoku o chouri shimashita. Yuushoku here is going to translate to basically dinner. It has the direct object particle o right after it, so it's going to be modified by the verb that's going to follow, which is chouri suru. Chouri suru is a verbal noun. It basically means to cook or to prepare, to make, with the connotation of food here. So chouri suru, but we want that to be in the past too. So suru turns into shimashita, which is the past polite form. Yuushoku o chouri shimashita means I made dinner. So we combine that with the first part of the sentence, and all together, once again, we have Shukudai o shiowatta ato de yuushoku o chouri shimashita means after I finished doing my homework, I made dinner. For our next example sentence, we have the line Yatto essay o kakiowarimashita. And what this line translates to is I finally finished writing my essay. So let's analyze the sentence. First up, we have Yatto, which is kind of an adverb that just means finally or at last. We have the word essay, which is just the katakana version of the English word essay. We have o right after it to make it into the direct object of kaku, which means to write. Kaku is in its pre-mas form here, so kaki. Then we add on owaru, so kakiowaru, but we're going to conjugate owaru furthermore into its past polite tense. So owaru turns into owarimashita, so kakiowarimashita means finish writing. Finish writing what? Finish writing my essay. Then we have yatto at the beginning, so finally finished writing my essay. Yatto essay o kakiowarimashita. I finally finished writing my essay. Bam! Our next example sentence is going to be different from the previous two. It's not going to be in the past tense, it's going to be in the present. our line is sugu ni heya o soji shi owaru. And what this means is I will finish cleaning my room soon. Let's break it down. Sugu ni means soon, basically. Heya means room. After it is o, marking it as a direct object of the verbal noun soji suru. Soji suru, we've used this in a previous video. It means to clean. Suru, of course, is going to need to be in its pre-mas form, so it turns into shi. Then right after that, we have owaru, and we're not going to conjugate that into the past or anything because we just want it to be in the present, plain tense. So since owaru is in its dictionary form, which can mean the future or the present, shi owaru here is just going to translate to will finish. Will finish what? Will finish cleaning, because soji is the verbal noun that we're using. Will finish cleaning what? Will finish cleaning the room, and sugu ni is there, so altogether, sugu ni heya o soji shi owaru means I will finish cleaning my room soon. And yeah, that's how we use the pre-mas form of verb plus the other verb owaru, which means to finish, to mean to finish doing that verb, whatever it is. We should have noticed how this grammar construct closely relates to the one that we covered in the last video, which is to start doing the particular verb, and how basically all the guidelines are the same. And yeah, like I said in the beginning, if we're gonna learn how to do one of them, we should learn how to do the other one. So these do come up in casual conversation plenty enough to merit the knowledge of using them. So yeah.